I did again. What the fuck? Dude, this button up is choking the both of us. It's choking me, and I'm like choking you.
This isn't a session. Welcome to Down Bad, a podcast about... Oh, fuck. What was it?
Welcome to Down Bad, a podcast where we celebrate the good, the ugly, and the down bad of life. This podcast is for the crashout cuties, the loverboys, and the hoes on the path of healing. I'm Quincy Yeoman.
It's your boy. That was the most you can't trust men for shit moment.
Literally. Quite literally. What was I going to do? Tell you the whole intro and then let you just re-say it? That'd be
It's
crazy.
actually a good point. It's like, I'm not going to let you get the credit for my work.
You're like, line. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I was like, it will be faster for me to just say this.
It was just the way of which the amount of time that you were like, you gave me a chance and then you were just like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. But it was also this tone of like, Jesus Christ.
It was like a quick, 5-second, streaming, your next episode is coming the fuck up. And you're like you fell asleep. That's how I was ready for that.
It's your boy, King Ho, Chris here. And welcome to another episode of Down Bad. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in, whether you're listening on whatever platform you like to listen to this podcast, or you're watching on YouTube, especially, which shout out to all of y'all who have subscribed, are liking the videos and just watching the videos. Thank you so much. And we're so glad that you enjoy watching this podcast. And you know what you should do? You should leave us a review. You should give us a subscribe, give us a follow on whatever platform you prefer. Even the platforms you don't prefer, give us a follow, subscribe on those too. Give us a rating, share it with your friends. We want this podcast to grow. And if you enjoy it, wouldn't it be great if more people listen to this and we were able to grow? And that's what we want. We want this podcast to grow. So if you could share it with your friends, give us ratings and reviews and all that, that helps with the algorithm so that more people can discover this podcast. But your support is appreciated. We're down bad about your support.
We are.
In a good way.
In a good way. We're excited. Yeah, to have it.
Yeah.
We're not. Yeah. I was like, I don't know if that's. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say.
I feel like it's always like when we do the little commercial up top, it's hard that unless there's something that it's always like an awkward transition out.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, it is funny to be like, hi, welcome to our podcast. Please tell your friends.
Yeah, that's the way of the world. That's the way of the world right now, you know? So yeah it's bad. But yeah, please tell your friends. Please tell your fucking friends. Tell your family. Play this podcast at Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want that. I don't know. I'd be interested.
This episode that we're recording right now is going to be Thanksgiving themed because of when we're releasing it.
Yeah, the thanks part, not the colonization part.
Well, hold on.
Anything can happen.
We just started. I mean, come on. Let's not write anything off.
How we look, we are not colonizing anything.
Well, not with that attitude. We got to believe in ourselves.
My culture has been colonized 5 or 6 times. Micronesia. I'm Micronesian.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning a lot about my history now, but it's the French, the Americans, it was 3 or 4 cultures listed.
Oh, so it was literally when one culture left. So was it that one culture colonized it and then they were conquered by another culture that colonized it? Or was it that the people revolted back?
See, I saw that and I kind of just took a break. I was like, I'll come back.
You saw the first 10 minutes of the movie, you're like, no, thank you.
I was like, okay, this Killers of the Flower Moon style.
This movie's about slavery. I'm out.
I was like, I'll come back for the rest 2.5 hours of this at another time.
That's like my brain just thought of someone watching 12 Years a Slave without knowing it was about slavery. So for the first 10 minutes, they're just like, this is just a movie about a happy black man.
And then at the end, Brad Pitt. Like, what? 12 Years a Slave has like one of the funniest moments in cinematic like universe to me. I don't know why cinematic universe film. I was like, that's Marvel brain rotted. But that when the slave looks out, it's like one of the longest scenes of someone just like looking out to the pasture I've ever seen. And it lasts so long that it literally just like took me out.
I think this is an important time to point out. I've actually never seen the movie.
Well, Brad Pitt's in it. Spoiler alert.
And I know Michael Fassbender's in it.
Love me some Michael Fassbender, but yes.
But I've never, because the only times I've ever been like, I want to watch a movie about slavery is when
you were in English class and there was a substitute teacher. And they were like, let's put this on. Your teacher's
like, we can't just put on any movie.
Yeah, literally.
Let's put on a movie that's going to bum out the class.
We still want them to feel history today. Feel something. Yeah.
I was going to say when the slavers are getting killed. So like Django, like,
well, I was like, what? Django. Everybody loves Django.
Well, there's also the one about the slave revolt that had, what's his face? Something Turner.
Oh, Black Judah. Judas? Black Judas? Black Messiah. Judas.
No, that was the...
but that was just more like Black Panther Party.
Yeah, that was the Black Panther Party movie.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Nate Turner. It was the slave revolt with Nate Turner.
Okay.
I forget what it was called.
Roots? I've never seen Roots.
I've never seen Roots.
I don't think Roots was about rebellion, though. Based on what I've heard of Roots,
I don't think they were rebelling at all in Roots.
I feel like I have the wrong hairstyle today to be like, I haven't seen any of these slave movies. I feel like I'm projecting a different look than the reality. I
haven't seen Roots, but I have seen Alec McBeal.
Yeah. I haven't seen Roots, but I am wearing the exact hairstyle from Roots. But
it is sometimes because sometimes when doing comedy, like having sets where I'm just like being like, yo, pro black, but I'm like wearing like a Blink 182 shirt. It just feels very much like that's my version of you having this hair but never seeing the movies. Yeah.
I mean we need more black like punk representation, black emo representation.
That's true.
Yeah. And I mean black people did start punk rock, but that's
what was not started by black people though?
That's
most art forms were started by black people or derived from some sort of
someone stealing it. Yeah. Well, happy Thanksgiving. That is Thanksgiving themed. That is Thanksgiving themed.
Well, actually, before we dive into the Thanksgiving stuff, there was you did mention that you wanted to talk about before we dived into the Thanksgiving stuff with seeing a new therapist.
Yes. Oh, yes. So I was off the sauce, off therapy.
Mm-hmm. Just raw dog in life.
Yeah. Because I mean, I went to therapy for a long time. Probably like, because I started therapy before it was cool. I just want to say that. I like went and started working myself like, early. And I saw the same therapist for like 7 or 8 years. Mm-hmm. And then I felt like I was in this good place. I didn't really need therapy for a bit. And then,
which is normal.
And I was doing good. Mm-hmm. And then, stuff has come up in life and I feel like I was on, I think it was the last conversation I had with you or one of the last ones I had with you. And I was just like, I think I need to pay someone to hear this, what I have to say. Not because you weren't listening, but I was like, I love my friends. I love you. You know that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I need someone who is both objective and like a professional.
Right.
Because here's the thing. I love my friends. I feel like I have at least like 60 people who would bury a dead body for me. You know what I mean? And I do love that. And I love that.
That is true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And about 60 people I would do it for as well. You know what I mean? It's like, that's, but I was like, I think I need to go and like have a talk about this stuff with just people. It was getting to the point where like, I just needed to like stop obsessing. I needed to talk to someone, have a space for it. And I want to go in person too.
Right.
Because at the end of with my last therapist, we were meeting on Zoom. But anyways, yeah. So I hadn't found like someone here in LA yet. And I was doing that grow therapy, like one of those things when I was trying to get my meds, but then, yeah. And so I was kind of seeing the psych, but then my psych got licensed here. So that worked out, but it was such a weird experience. Like she forgot my name, like the second time I got on, like, it was just like too overworked. I was like, okay, I need to go. Also with everything going on, I was like, I want to go in person and have a space to like leave shit and then walk away. But anyways,
right.
But I say all that to say, got a new therapist.
Well, real quick, I was just going to say, where it's just like, even though you have all these friends who love you or are more than willing to hear you out, it's like, oh yeah, you mean you don't want to get advice from, like for example, for myself, it's like, you don't want to talk to me. I'm a severely mentally ill person.
Literally, I was talking to my friend Jessica about this. She's like, it's like talking to other people in the psych ward. Yeah,
it's
that's
like
exactly.
asking someone who also doesn't know about cars to change your oil.
Yeah, I'm like, should we all like just take this part and do it together? But we're not. Yeah, we're all in our like.
You're just asking someone else to look it up on YouTube for you.
Truly, I'm like, should we Google this together? Let's find out what I have.
So yeah, maybe let me talk to someone who's gone to college for this shit.
Yes. And I'm not going to say specifics, but I will say the last time we had got to, I was like, okay, it's good. I'm going to get a therapist, but or one of the last time, because I forgot what I told you some piece of information, and you're just like, yeah, like you like completely supported me, and I was like, I'm pretty sure what I just said shouldn't be supported. Like I had a moment where I was like, I think what I just stated should not be like, you know what though? You're good. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I should probably go talk to someone else.
You know what it is? I'm not going to say on the pod what it is, but I'm pretty sure I think I know what it is.
You know exactly.
And I know in that moment, like, okay, on the real, in my heart of hearts, I was like, I don't know if that's good. But I was like, nah, but I can't. Nah, sometimes it do be like that.
Literally. That was like, and I was like, yeah, I should probably go. I should go ask these questions to someone else. You know what I mean? And
it's also just nice to have that, like, because it is like my overthinking brain whenever it's like, for example, anytime people give me positive affirmation, my negativity in my overthinking brain, it's like, well, this person has to say these things because they're my friend. Whereas when you get feedback, positive or negative, from a therapist, it's like, this person doesn't have to be nice to me.
Exactly.
Like, sure, there's a rapport that they have to build, but ultimately at the end of the day, just like any other doctor, I'm here to get the best treatment, whether I want to hear it or not. So it is just nice to like have someone in your life who, one, you can literally say your deepest, darkest secrets to, and you will never see them again unless it's a session. Like, it's not like,
well, my therapist lives in like very close, so we did have to talk about like if I see him in person or whatever.
Oh,
but truly, yeah. But it's like there's rules like you don't acknowledge or whatever.
Yeah.
This is a sidebar, but I wanted to ask you this question. This came up at a party we were at this past weekend or a couple weekends ago. How much money do you think you have to make when you start going to a therapist who's just going to tell you what you want to hear? Like, because this came up because me and someone at a party were talking about how much do you think rich people are getting honest feedback from their therapist?
Oh,
and then what amount of money is it that you would stop getting honest feedback from your therapist? Like at what level or yeah?
I think for sure that does exist because there's a reality TV franchise called Vanderpump Rules, and there's a guy on the show named Jax, and he is truly one of the most mentally unwell, unhinged people in the world. And like in the realm of like if there is a Hall of Fame for messy reality TV stars, he's on Mount Rushmore.
Wow. Okay.
And he's like halfway through the first season, you see him through some of the most messiest shit possible.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the first season, you realize he's going to therapy. So like, this is him therapized.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I feel like even broke fucks I know at this point, I'm like, your therapist ain't telling you shit.
No.
I'm like, I don't know. Your $20 copay is validating you too hard.
Right.
Yeah.
And the therapist shows her face, which is crazy.
That's an actor. There ain't no way.
And then at the end of the season, Jax is just like, hey, I should be honest with you. I've actually been lying to you in my sessions. And this is actually what's been happening. The therapist is like, okay, well, let's work on this. But it's like, even then, it's like, I feel like, especially as the show goes on, and if he's still seeing this therapist, is like, there's a little bit of like a part where there's no way the therapist isn't like, well, I want to keep being able to get this TV check.
Yeah, the therapist is after the bag at this point.
And so I think that's really true. So I think,
yeah, how much would you have to make, or what do you think? Because I think it could be also like a fame thing or a money thing.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think the amount is lower than what we would want it to be.
I think same. I think it's like $200K.
The fact that Do It for the Vine was a thing, like if it means being adjacent to fame, people are willing to lower their morals just to be adjacent to fame.
I agree.
So I think for sure 6 figures. Like for sure six figures. Like it's like.
But you think like $500,000 more? Do you think like $200K? Was I shooting too low?
I think.
Because I think $200K at a salaried job, if you have good health insurance, you could probably still get a therapist that will tell you anything you want. I think when you're paying out of pocket, but you're making like, I would say like $350 or more.
Honestly, I would say even $200K.
You think even 200? So like yeah, okay.
Because I feel like sometimes with therapists, they see a client for so long that sometimes for some therapists, they just naturally end up being on their client's side.
I felt like that was a little bit me and my last therapist. Mm-hmm. Like we were in it for so long.
Right.
But no, I don't know though. I feel like I feel like she was on my side in some ways and then not in others. But
because the one thing that made me realize like, I definitely will always need therapy is because I had a therapist who, I forget what it was, but like there was a situation similar to what you were saying with me where like when you were talking to me of like, I said a situation and they were kind of on my side and I was like, oh, I don't know if, I think they like me too much. That they're rooting for me too much, that where it's like, I don't know, like it made me kind of doubt like, are you like, have you become attached to me kind of thing?
Well, they're attached to your growth, right?
True.
So then there's a little bit of that. I could see that. Yeah. I thought I had a really close relationship with my therapist. I obviously stopped going, but then I did like a random appointment in like July. I needed to see her. We hadn't seen each other in a bit. And I felt like she was cold to me. I felt like the vibe had shifted. And I don't think, we just hadn't seen each other a while. We were also like over Zoom still. Yeah. But it was weird to just like drop in. And then I knew the relationship shifted because I haven't seen her. And I don't think it was that. I think it was just, it was just a weird moment. I had to take the call like in the airport, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, It was like a different... Right. She like sat with her arms crossed a lot of the time on the call. And I was like, Yeah. And then it was also weird because I felt also a disconnect because I hadn't seen her in a while. So I'm dropping in to tell you this stuff and then dropping out. I mean, I was at a more positive point than when I scheduled it, but it was like also weird. Right. Anyways, but I do think she was rooting for me, but then it was weird where I was like, oh, I don't feel like I'm like really your client anymore. Right. Yeah. But anyways, I've been down bad, so I went back to therapy. I've been so down bad, I've been getting fucking tarot card readers on my fucking TikTok. And I'm like, please stop. I'm like, if you're seeing this message, don't skip. And I'm like, why is this happening to me? Nevertheless, So I'm going to this new therapist, and it's the first therapist I've ever been to where he was like very clear about both his ethics and things staying private between us.
Right.
And like not calling the cops, which I know, like, you know, only in certain scenarios, you know, there's like HIPAA reasons why someone maybe have to call. But he was like, I really don't want to call the cops. You know, I would never He like basically laid it all out for me. And no therapist has ever done that before.
Right.
And my therapist before this was black, but I mean, I guess that was the assumption there, right?
Yeah.
But my new therapist is not black. But I was like, I didn't realize how comforting that would be until it happened.
Yeah, because it's for anyone listening who maybe if you have not started your own therapy journey, every therapist, they'll tell you in the beginning, there's kind of a rigmarole that they have to speak to. And one of those things being where that they are required to, if they hear anything illegal, that they have to.
It's not anything illegal.
Or
if you're going to harm yourself or others, you're in imminent danger. If a child is being abused in the home.
Yeah.
Or, I think harm yourself one, harm your others two.
Yeah.
I think there might be one more, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah. Those are illegal.
Those are illegal, but you can't say anything illegal because anything illegal, that's a lot.
I told my therapist I've been doing some illegal drugs.
I told my therapist for a session. I haven't done any illegal drugs recently, but I was like, you know, depending on the context of the picture I was painting, I needed him to know.
Right. So it's customary for a therapist to say that, but you saying that this therapist said they weren't going to call the cops is interesting because I don't think that violates anything. But it's just more of an interesting, like, for them to acknowledge that, like, hey, me calling the cops is not going to be this like cut and dry black and white thing.
Well, it was like, I will never like call, like, I'm not going to do that, which felt good. The like explicitness of like, I'm not that type of therapist. Is going to be like, you know, if I get a threat, like there's other, you know, like, I don't know. Let's say I was like, oh, I want to kill myself. You know, go through the checklist that you do when you get contacted. And then to know that he was like, I wouldn't text that and it would be like, there are cops are at my door. Right. And then the other thing that he kind of wrapped into that was just the ethics part of everything that we talk about being completely private. He was like, he's like, I take privacy very seriously. I take what we talk about in here very seriously, to the extent that like, even if I was asked to come into court, if you did not want me to, I would not share what we talked about, even in court.
Interesting.
Because I can say like, you know, whatever, patient protection or whatever.
Right.
Which felt good. I was like, oh, that's awesome. You know,
really know that everything that is being said is truly
private.
Because it's like, I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that if I had a therapist say that to me, it would hit me differently the way that it hit you differently. Because to me, it's like, oh, well, I like at first thought it's, oh, well, yeah, I get it. They have to because of their license or whatever and all that. But then the more I think about it and the more I hear you explain it, the more it's like, oh, shit, I can like really be free. Because it's like, that's a big hurdle with mental health, and when people are being honest about depression and suicidal ideation and stuff, where it's like sometimes when telling people that, understandably their thought is like, okay, let me get you help because you won't get help, which is like understandable, but then at the same time it's like
the cops don't help,
right? Or just even it's like, I don't want to share now because I don't want you to react like this. Like I've always kind of joked when I've been in my suicidal depressive stages where there's just moments where it's like, I just want to like post on Instagram a joke about me killing myself and it not lead to like I want to just like, or not even a joke, just like posting to the stories of like, I don't want to be around anymore. And then like go to bed and then like not have to wake up to like 20 DMs of like, is everything okay? Do we need to talk? Like, everything is not okay. I don't want to talk. And now I feel overwhelmed with people reaching out. It's like that same thing of just like, I want to feel like I have the space to be upfront about these kind of stuff. Like you said, without feeling the fear of like, you're going to be doing drunken karaoke and like the cops knock on the door.
Yeah, exactly.
And that I can definitely now see how that's such a, like, this huge weight is kind of like lifted off just the shoulders of going to this therapist. Cause it's like, oh, I can be like for real vulnerable with you.
Yes. And the other thing, exactly. I feel like a weight was lifted immediately in that I didn't expect. And he also, cause the type of therapy he does, he was straight up like, we might have conflict in here between you and I. Mm-hmm. And we're in this space together and we'll have to confront that. And I was like, whoa. I personally have never like had a therapist like this before. I do think this is like the type of therapist I need at this point in my life.
Right.
But yeah, between that and knowing that like the honesty about there could be direct conflict and these are not consequences it opened me up to be open to the experience. I'm excited to work with him. Our first session was great. I mean, our consultation was great, which is what got me in the door, but our first session was great. But yeah, I feel like this foundation of honesty and like the cop thing, all that, it was just like all woven together to create like a different experience than I had expected, that I didn't know that I needed or would make a difference in my approach to this.
Right.
So kind of crazy.
It is like, it's funny because like I've lucked out where every therapist that I've had has been a great therapist and like was the therapist that I needed at that time. Yeah. But every new therapist has like unlocked a layer of like support or professionalism, or not even professional, because then that implies that the previous therapists weren't professionals, but unlocks something where it's like, my brain's like, oh, I didn't know this is possible with a therapist. Yeah.
Well, that's not just on the therapist. That's on you too.
Right.
Because you're going to these new therapists and you're at a different point. So the support you need and can get and ask for is different because you have been doing this.
Right. So that is true. Because it is very much like my first therapist, I just showed up and just vented and then kind of like that was it. But there wasn't really any deeper work. And at first I changed therapists because I was like, oh, I can't get deep with him. But then now looking back, it's like, well, I didn't even know what to ask for. I didn't know how to ask for what I needed. And and like the second therapist helped me unlock that. Yeah. And then now with my current therapist, based off of a conversation we've had, I'm like, oh, I want to explore the tools that she has and not just I show up, I talk, and then that's it. Cause I truly, as much as like there's shit in my personal life that is currently happening that I want to unpack and work through, I also ultimately what I really want to do in therapy is unpack and work through just the lifelong shit that's basically buried beneath me to the point where it's like, I just think that's just how I am. And there's no way to work through that. Like, for example, my negativity, like my self-negativity, like I'm positive towards others, but I'm so negative towards myself. Yeah. And it's been something that truthfully, even while I was in therapy, I just got to a point where I just accepted this is just who I am and there's nothing I can do about it. And it isn't until recently where it was like, where I still do kind of believe that, but a part of me is like, I should try to at least attempt to work through this. Exactly. Yeah. So that's a very good point where it's like, I think with my first therapist, I just thought like, this is just who I am. It is what it is. And then my second therapist was like, okay, I know this isn't how I should think, but I can't help it. And then now I'm like, I know this is how I think. And I know that if I push myself, I can probably develop strategies and tools to counteract it. Yeah.
I would also imagine too, like addressing it in the present, your shit in the present. It's like, if it's all patterns and connected, you'll probably go connect the present to the, you know,
cause there's a lot of like, also too, there's a lot of shit with my childhood that like, I'm sure has caused me to be the way that I am, but I want to like uncover and unpack. Like we were talking about, I don't think we were talking about this on the pod. I think we were talking about this in person, where I remember my last therapist, I tried for the first time. I forget what it's called.
Rapid eye movement.
Yes.
Yeah. EMDR, eye movement, rapid, or whatever.
Something like that, where basically if those listening, watching, if you don't know what it is, it sounds fake. It sounds like a scam where you just like follow with your eyes like a dot, and then your therapist like ask you questions and stuff. That's a very gross under explanation of what it is.
Yeah, it triggers stuff in your somatic system. So you're going through this and you're moving your eyes, and then yeah, I don't know.
But I remember when I tried it, I was like, there's no way this shit works. Like, it will work for other people. There's no way it works for me. And then I did it, and it felt like witchcraft. Yeah. Because of how much, like, I remember afterwards.
We did talk about this on the pod.
Oh, did we?
I think so.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. Because I think we talked about it in the meds episode.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, we talk too much.
Yeah. But like shit like that, where it's like, I want to try do tools and stuff and like see what else is out there like that at rapid eye movement that could really help. Cause there's just shit about me where I'm like, is there really nothing that I can like, cause I'm like, oh, I can't think of anything that like a big major trauma moment or anything like that. But a part of me is like, is it that I really can't think of anything, or have I just buried it so deep?
Well, there might not have been a major trauma moment, but it could be a bunch of little moments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too, where it's like little trauma moments that because they're quote unquote little, I downplay the severity.
Or you accepted it as normal.
That very much that too.
There's always a lot of stuff where I'm like, oh, I accepted this as how it is.
Right.
Normal. Or like, yeah. Because you definitely, before you have the language of it for it, especially as a kid, you're like, look back and you're like, oh shit, yeah, that was making me feel like I didn't believe in myself. Or that does make me, right. It's just like, and it's also subtle messaging. I don't even think parents realize like the subtle messaging.
Right.
That's part of their own conditioning that they're like then passing down to their kids. Even if it was just like through osmosis of seeing your parent react to things.
Well, even a perfect example of that is like, I struggle with thinking that I am desirable. And
that you struggle thinking you are desirable?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so you always think you're desirable? What do you mean?
No, sorry, the opposite.
You struggle to think that you aren't desirable?
Yes. Okay. There we go.
Chris is like, I just feel so kind of a crazy past, but I just feel so good about myself. I struggle with thinking I'm desired by everybody.
Listen, you know what? I'm just so fuckable. It's a problem.
Yeah. I'm just like, what do I do?
God, I would pay to be able to have that mentality. No, I struggle with thinking that I am not desirable. Okay. And I, like the past year or so, I realized, it's because when growing up, I grew up in a very country, like
white people,
overwhelmingly white area that like what was hot was like
white.
Exactly. Yeah. What was hot was white.
Yeah.
And so because of that just, and I lived in that for so long that like, that's why I struggle to this day and still will for life of like when people have been like, oh, you're attractive or you're hot or you're this or you're that, where I'm like, no, because for so long in my life, I'm just remembering how I was told blatantly to my face that I wasn't. And then on top of that, having an older brother who was tall, buff, and he was considered attractive, like being like told I wasn't attractive, but then they look at my brother like, but that's attractive. That's what we want. So also having this permanent ingrained belief of I'm not desirable because I'm not tall and I'm not buff and I'm not in a certain physique shape. And like, while people can find people attractive who like, people can find men attractive who are not those things, but then it's exaggerated by how in society, how much people thirst over people who fit those descriptions.
Well, especially if it's your brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, not even just that, but like in popular celebrity dome and all of that, which the people thirsting over a hot celebrity doesn't mean that that's the only thing people find attractive, but it's hard to not take that as messaging of like, this just affirms this childhood belief of I'm not going to be attracted because I'm not tall and I don't have a six pack. And
I like how you pushed it away from you to make yourself less vulnerable in that moment. You said, yeah, celebrities. Even though you started by talking about how your brother. It's all good. This is what it's about.
This isn't a session.
It's not, but I don't know what got into me. I was just like, we were talking. Yeah.
You wear one button up with where it's buttoned all the way to the top. And you're like, hi, the therapist is in.
My PhD today.
Okay, Claire Huxtable. I know she was a lawyer, but still.
Tomato. I don't give a shit. Oh my gosh. That's real though. It's like you can trace it back and like the patterns. I think right now it's like I want to identify. I'm in this phase of breaking a lot of patterns. Honestly, it's just, actually we'll get to that at the end because that's I want to be not down bad about because I thought about this. But I will say it's like, we're making decisions. So it's like a different time in therapy.
Right.
When you're like not contemplating anymore. You've heard things and you're like, okay, well now it's like action time. Right. So that changes the experience of therapy. Totally. So, but I like my new therapist. I'm excited to go week after week. We are meeting on Fridays. It's in person. It feels cool to be in person also as well. And are
you more of an in-person therapy or is it just more of because you haven't gone in person for so long, you're excited about the potentially different experience that it can lead to?
I think I prefer in-person almost over everything. I have trouble reading social cues over Zoom or cameras and getting comfortable myself. And I think just like over a camera, I'm just like really distracted in general. So I do prefer in person. I think that helps me get a better read of energy and actually gauge if I'm comfortable with someone. And I haven't been in a while. And I don't know, it's just really important to me to have like a space to go and leave something.
That's true.
And that's what I needed want a lot in therapy right now is just like, okay, I go to this place, I talk about these things, and then I leave that place. Right. It's like how I discovered, unfortunately, that like working in person is better for me because then I like go, I do it, and then I like leave.
I low key think working in person is but I refuse.
Well, if I worked at like a computer job, I'd prefer to be at home.
Right.
But I'm not going to be as good at my job personally. I don't believe that's everybody. And, people were incredibly productive during the pandemic, all that stuff. But I know for me, I'm like, I gotta go. Because some days it's like I would wake up and work from home and it'd be fine. Other days I'd wake up and I would not work from home. I would be home. I would technically be at work, but I was personally not working from home. So I'm like, but the therapy thing, I was like, okay, I want to go in person and have like this space. Yeah. And then like leave that space. So that was it.
I mean, but that also opens up to where it could be a conversation of like, is it really that you're not being a good worker, or is it just this American culture of hyper productivity? Yeah. Where like
it's capitalism.
You are able to get what you need to get done. And like, sure, you're not like being like, okay, let me hop on something else and all that. But it's also like, is that just like you said, like, is that just a symptom of capitalism and hyper productivity where it's like, we're more productive in the office because we're forced to be like, work, instead of being like, well, I got my shit done. Yeah. And then now I'm just going to just kick it for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think I have to leave because I do have days. I think this is like maybe my own mental health stuff, but I have days where I just don't have the motivation. I also realized I can't work at a desk job in general. Yeah. Because it's like, I need to be doing something to like, I just have to be doing something. Right. And so working on a computer, I don't mind getting tasks done and planning, but it's like got to be for myself.
Yeah.
But I just really struggled with. Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is definitely the capitalism part, right? And I was working in an industry that was like booming during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it was a very busy marketing job. But I'm like, I think it would be, I don't know, but I've never like worked in marketing in person. So I don't also know. But, you know, now I work with dogs. It's like a totally different experience. Like,
yeah, you can't really do that remotely.
You can't do that remote. And I'm like, now that I'm working with dogs, and I landscaped for a while too, and I was a barista. Every time I've had like a labor job, I am significantly happier.
Really?
Yeah. Because one, I like moving. It's out of my head. I'm not thinking in the same way.
Right.
I mean, I like doing film stuff and comedy, but that's like performing. You go, right? You go, you do it, you leave. So that's also a doing thing. But I think I'm just not. I'll plan a party, I'll plan a trip, I'll plan whatever, but like sitting behind a desk and then the bureaucracy of like like it's an emergency that this like caption is wrong. Like it's an emergency that we get these ads out tomorrow.
Right.
Like fuck that shit. That stuff. That I'm like, and I can't even pretend. But it's like, okay, I still have to walk the dog, or we still are filming the scene, or we, you know, I am performing a set right now. Different thing. Right.
Do you think it's also because there's a lot less ambiguity with labor jobs?
Yes. Ambiguity I struggle with at work.
I struggle so immensely hard with it.
And I'm like, I need a straight answer, even if the why changes or what, because it's like, it's so ambiguous. And then they still want excellence. And I'm like, how do you expect excellence when you won't tell me what you need?
Exactly.
And that stops me every time.
Yeah. So I can't read your mind. I can barely read my own mind, let alone reading your mind.
Like the details. And I think also in the remote world, people were less apt to talk it out. So that made it a lot harder.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to sit here and read a Slack that's a brick long.
Right.
Or like, do you know how much faster it would be if we were at the same place and you showed me how to do this and then I just did it?
Right.
So, yeah, I fucking hated that shit. And I hate authority. So I also was... So, you know, it's just like, there's a few things that obviously...
That'll do it.
That'll do it. Stacked against me in that. But yeah.
And it's always the worst people in corporate settings that have authority. Like rarely do you have actual like good people in authoritative positions. It's very much like who has the capability of being either the most who's okay with micromanaging or who's okay with being toxic or just overall pushing without caring about people's feelings. That's what it feels like. If you want to be a boss or a manager in a corporate space, that's actually what you need to do. Like you don't actually need to learn how to be a leader. You just need to learn how to push people to get shit done
and cover your own ass.
Exactly.
I have every single white woman I've worked for has cried to me.
Really?
Every single white woman I've worked for has cried to me about racism. So that's why I'll never go back to a corporate job like that. Anyways, that's not why we're here today. But that'll be an episode for another time. Because, yeah, Quincy ain't going back to an office. I can't at this point. But nevertheless... we're talking about grateful stuff today. Being grateful. 43 minutes in. I was like, just a quick little intro. It's never quick. It's okay.
We got to start implementing an alarm or something like that.
Just literally call the cops on us. Call the cops when we hit that 30-minute mark.
Listen, if you're my therapist, don't you dare call the cops. If you are a podcast listener,
yeah, truly,
maybe help us out a little bit. Yes, today's episode, especially because of this episode coming out on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We wanted to talk about being down bad about being down bad about being grateful.
I think you can't be down bad about being grateful.
Or just more of like
the concept of being grateful.
You know what? We're just talking about being grateful.
We're just talking about being grateful.
Is very much, and I guess because the angle that I was thinking of was just more of like how sometimes the feeling of gratefulness can feel overwhelming in a positive way.
Okay.
In the sense where like, so for example, last year around October, around Halloween, actually, I found out that I was going to get fired from my job, but I wasn't told when.
Yeah.
Or even for sure if I was going to.
And I was ready to kill Chris's boss. That's why I can't go back to
I think a lot of people were.
I was like, what's her name?
Everyone was like, we're going to come after your boss. And I was like, I'm going to come after myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that was how, yeah.
And the weekend that I had that news, I went to San Diego that weekend to do a Don't Tell show, but then also it was mostly because I was going to go see Kate Trinata, who was performing, and as well as Under Oath. They were doing a tour where they were playing their first album. And I remember in that moment, just like it was a weird mix of emotions because I was having the time of my life at these concerts while also being in the worst state mentally, emotionally, and then also like being like, fuck, like I'm about to lose my job. How am I going to pay my debt? How am I going to pay my bills? What's going to happen to my place? Am I going to have to move home? All of that kind of shit. And I remember in those moments, I remember, especially the Kate Trinata concert. I remember being at the Kate Trinata concert high. And
just specify.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. I don't want anybody to think you're on something crazy.
And I was high. I took an edible. Was high on weed, and I remember in that moment, in a beautiful way, I remember thinking to myself, like, you know what, my world is on fire right now, but for a split second, I'm just in the moment with a bunch of strangers, and I'm experiencing a level of joy that I don't know if I'm going to feel again, but at least I'm feeling this feeling of like, this is why we live life. Like, yes, it sucks that we have to deal with capitalism and the rat race and all of that shit. But at the end of the day, we have to do it, but we do it so that we can have these moments where we truly feel like we are living in this planet. And like, fast forward, around the same time this year, I went to San Diego to see a different concert with one of my best friends. And it was like this weird, like a year later, like literally like a week later was the exact like year anniversary. So like roughly around a year later, I was in the exact same place, night and day different, like feeling so much happier about my life in general, feeling much more optimistic, much more hopeful, genuine happiness and joyfulness in my life. And it just made me feel so grateful of like, one, sticking it out. So then I was able to experience the joy that I was feeling now. But then also where it's just like, also like, as a reminder of like, you really don't know what life is going to be like for you. So when you're at your lowest, like you really don't know. Like I was at my lowest, really didn't think anything good was going to come out of it. And then a year later, I'm at my happiest. But then also it just made me feel grateful of like the fact that I have a community and I have the ability to get access to resources that helped me get through it. And it was just like, when I was at this concert, I was just overwhelmed by this feeling of gratefulness of like, it made me kind of, not to try to shamelessly put it on thing, but like, it did make me feel like down bad in a good way of like, just feeling this overwhelming feeling of like, damn, like I'm just happy to be here. I'm thankful to be here. And I'm just so like, it forced me to be more in the moment and just really understand the weight of what that moment meant. And like, yeah, it's on the nose that a year later, same venue, all of that stuff. But then at the same time,
I mean,
it's
that's
like
cosmic though.
Yes.
It's cosmic. On the nose is when a writer intentionally, is making a thing, but this is the universe taking you back to the same place. That's
Which real quick, I like, hey, you're using that word wrong.
I'm like, on the nose means someone on the other side knows what they're doing. Yeah, I did. I didn't mean it like that.
No, but I mean, I was using it wrong. But it's just like, it's cosmic. It's not on the nose.
Yeah.
I need to break down the definition.
But it was a beautiful moment for the universe to be
Yes.
like, wow, and take you right back there.
Exactly. Yes. So it's something where I think with Thanksgiving, we often say like, oh, what are you grateful for? And I think because of the holiday, it unfortunately sometimes become like this cliche thing where we don't truly understand what it means to actually be grateful. Or we say it because we feel like we have to, because it's in the moment where we're having like dinner with friends or family. And it's like, hey, let's say, but it's like to be grateful for something. It's like truly this feeling of like, damn, I have this thing and it means X, Y, and Z to me. And despite everything going on in the world, despite everything going on in my life, I have this thing and I have this overwhelming sense of happiness and joy that it is in my life. And it's it's such a beautiful human thing to be able to have something to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Because whether the thing that you're grateful for someone else has or not, I think it allows you to take a step back. Gratefulness allows you to take a step back and really look at your life and be like, here's the positive thing. Not to be like The Secret and be like, oh, think about what you have, or I forget what The Secret is now that I think about it. But just more of like, to like just really have this moment to like look at your life and ignore all of the bad, to just highlight this thing and be like, this is a good thing that I have. And I'm just happy to have it.
Yeah.
And to allow yourself to be in the moment about that, I think is something that is just like, it's cool.
It's cool. I think as a whole, we often don't allow ourselves to get carried away with grateful moments.
Right.
Sadness, anger, other things, joy, we let come and go. And I think there's a lot of distrust of joy at the moment, where people don't want to indulge in it for fear that the other shoe is going to drop.
Right.
So I do think the moments of gratefulness and letting that carry you away is like a beautiful thing. And studies have shown that if you are practicing gratitude on a daily basis, your health, a lot of stuff improves for you as a person.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, to like take a step back, let yourself be engulfed by that.
Right.
Is a beautiful and rare thing. And I think that's so cool that you saw this moment, both then felt like this, even in the negativity, felt an undercurrent of like positivity to be experiencing that with people. And then to find yourself there a year from now in a different place where it had flipped and joy was like the major feeling.
Right.
Is like, that's incredible. That's really lucky. And I think the universe has a way of doing that where you're just like, okay, haha, I see you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe that was on the nose. She wrote it. You know what I mean? It was on the nose for her. She was like, let me just put this little guy back in this and have this feeling or whatever.
But I honestly think that if it wasn't on the nose, I don't think I would have recognized the severity of it.
Really?
I think I would have been like, I think the fact that it was the same venue.
Yeah, like it was all.
It was, and like I wasn't standing in the same spot, but I was pretty close to the spot that I was in. I was in a better position. Yeah. So like also like, sure, you can be like, oh, I was even closer to the whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that's a reach. But overall, it was like, I think the fact that it was so many factors of like, I'm in the exact same place, but I feel so much better.
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't the same venue, I truly don't think I would have recognized it. Yeah.
You wouldn't have registered that moment.
Mm-mm. I would have just thought, oh, I'm in San Diego with my homie watching a concert.
Wow. Huh.
Because I didn't really realize it until like that day at the concert when I was just like, oh shit. Like I didn't even like, this is like a year ago and here I am at this. And I think the reason why it clicked is because last time I was at that, because the venue was the Padres Stadium.
Yeah.
They have a stage. So like seeing, it's just like how anytime something traumatic happens to you, when you see the location, it's going to be triggering.
Yeah, it brings it back.
It's going to bring it back. So I think for me, seeing the stage brought me back and then made me realize, oh shit. Like, yes, last time I here was terrible, but like now I'm here and I'm like
complete 180.
A complete 180. And so I think for me, I'm actually, to add another layer of gratefulness, I'm grateful that it had that on the nose nature because it allowed me to have this moment of appreciation that made that weekend so much more beautiful. But then also allowed me, it was like an important reminder of why in life we're so looking forward and go, that we need to have more moments where we just pause.
Yeah.
And just be like, damn, look at what's around me.
Yeah.
Like I even say that about accomplishments where it's like so many times people will do something that like they has been a goal of theirs and they're like, oh, I did it. That's great. Okay, what next? And it's just like, yo, you've been like, think about how long you've been saying you've been wanting to accomplish that thing.
Yeah.
And then you just did it. Like, why not let yourself enjoy that for a second?
People don't take a moment to take stuff in.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I an example is like, I remember when I was early on in comedy, I set myself a goal of like, I want to at least once this year host a weekend at the Comedy Underground in Seattle. And then it got to a point where I was hosting so much where I was turning it down because I didn't want to host anymore. And it's like, I had to have a moment of like, Chris, you like a year ago, you would have killed to like be in the position that you're in now. And then now you're in this position and you didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Because you were so like looking ahead. So I think gratefulness is sometimes people, I think we as a society, we're so cynical and like we're easy to write off things as cliched or corny or anything like that, where we're robbing ourselves of the joy that comes from being grateful and having gratefulness over shit, even if it's something little or if it's something big. Like there's a lot of beauty. I think there's a lot of beauty in gratefulness because it just really makes you see the beauty in life. And in particularly like your life.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very sweet.
It's funny. Last episode, we were talking about a lot of nasty stuff. And this has actually been a mostly profound.
Yeah,
this is the range that we fucking have. Is there something or an aspect about gratefulness that you feel that you've been feeling recently?
Yeah, I'm like going through this. You know, oh, I am grateful. I am grateful. Yeah. I'm like feel vulnerable. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. You know, I'm grateful. I even feel so, I'm like surprised. I was like sitting here, I was like, oh, it's not that hard to be grateful. And then literally now that you like asked me that, I have to talk about it or like the feeling I'm getting. This is actually so insane. But
it's like that meme where it's like, I'm gonna fight being grateful. It's like, damn, being grateful has hands.
No, I'm not fighting being grateful. I'm like trying to, I don't know. I'm just like trying to convey or I talk about it. Yeah. So I'm grateful. I don't even know what's happening right now. Okay.
I couldn't tell from the past 5 times that you've said the sentence, I'm grateful.
No, I do try to practice gratitude regularly. I'll start there.
Yeah.
I'm a big meditator, and I think taking moments to just, sometimes I'll try to do a grateful meditation here and there. I also like to think about, I think it's easy to get swept away in a lot of things. I get swept away in a lot of things, but recently, on the note of the universe, we'll talk about the universe, yada yada. I'm grateful. But I think that for me recently, man, I feel like shy right now. But nevertheless,
we don't have to talk about it.
No, I want to. I'm being shy about being grateful. It's not. I'm not being shy to say that I'm not grateful. I'm grateful about a lot of things in my life right now. I think that the universe and things have been unfolding for me in a way that I've been getting a lot of validation for the path I'm on, the steps I'm taking,
right,
the decisions I'm making, all of that. I feel it as an undercurrent in my life as a consistent thing. I think for me, I've felt I've had this huge moment recently with my parents that was really sweet and beautiful. And my dad said something to me that has never been said, that he's never said to me before, that truly, I think maybe rewired my brain.
Right.
And so I felt an overwhelming sense of gratefulness, and then it kind of pulled me back in the sense where I had to zoom out from my life and be wow, I didn't know that I was so supported and loved in that way.
Right.
But I also think the universe has been, I guess I've been feeling this overwhelming sense of gratefulness around how the universe can bring people into your life in the most unexpected ways, and that connect you back to yourself, closer to yourself.
Right.
I'll even think of this example. Me and a friend of mine, Jessica Michelle Singleton, very funny comedian. We've been hanging out a lot lately, and that's been really cool. And the fact that she's come back, that we're back in each other's lives, having met each other when we're so young,
right,
is this. Sometimes when we're hanging out or after we hang out, I always feel I leave completely filled up energetically when we hang out. And I'm just how is this such a crazy, beautiful thing that this person, who we knew each other as teenagers, and now here we are, literally however many years later, right? And we get to connect again, and we are we pick up, we picked up, Jessica's always a friend that I never felt time really passed. And it's crazy that we have these similarities in the way we think, how we approach the world, how we see the world, these perspectives. And it's oh wow, that's so cool how the universe can bring people back in that,
right?
And so I get overwhelmed with that. And then I think the other thing that I've been really getting overwhelmed with gratefulness lately is that I feel really and I know this sounds corny to say, but blessed, fortunate, to have people in my life who, when I give them information about myself, they handle that information with care. And I've been really overwhelmed by that lately. There's sometimes I have this feeling another shoe will drop, or I'm too much, or I'm too extra, or whatever it is, because, I feel I'm just overwhelm people with my presence, for lack of a better word. But I'm not trying to. I'm just being myself or whatever it is. But and I just feel lately there's been these times where I'm wow, this person is cares.
Right.
And is handling that well. And I feel this overwhelming sense of both being cared for and being seen that I kind of didn't know was possible. And I think sometimes I'm like elusive or hide because I'm not sure how it'll go. And then like, actually there are people that I can just, and that's fine, open with, and that's fine. And then I do feel that overwhelming sense of gratitude that I am not just like flailing out here alone.
Right.
So I have been, feeling some of that.
Right.
So
just it's funny because it's like you don't really realize how monumental your support system is until you truly need them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's very much something where like I think you can recognize like, oh, I have a support system, but not realizing. But I think there's a level of which, I mean, it's like the same thing of like, this is a bad analogy, but it's like the same thing of like you don't realize how helpful a hospital can be until you need to go to the hospital. Like, I know that's like not a great analogy, but it's like,
no, it's not. That was on the nose. I believe. You don't realize how grateful a hospital is till you go to the hospital, and then you realize it wasn't that helpful when you get the bill.
I think the takeaway from this episode is that Quincy is not that friend who's gonna like when we were talking about earlier of like, yeah, I just feel like sometimes I tell friends things and they don't give me the honest truth. You just gave me the honest truth, and
that's the thing. That's why I'm a hard pill for people to swallow, because if I love you, I'm gonna tell you the truth. And then that is, That
was so funny. I don't think that was a good analogy. No, it was not.
I was like, I don't even think that's an analogy. I don't even think that was like the definition of an analogy, but I'm, neither here nor there. You know what I mean? Do your thing.
This whole episode has been like a multiple one after another moments of you well actuallying me.
I know, it's the button up. I think it's the button up. I'm like truly so in my well actually bag today, and I don't even I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is about, but it just possessed me, I think. Just truly. Yeah, I think you don't know where your support system is. I also just think, I don't know, it's like sweet when I always feel overwhelmed with gratitude when I realize someone is like for emotional reciprocity.
Yeah.
I think I'm finding myself getting overwhelmed with gratitude about emotional reciprocity recently.
Yeah.
In a variety of ways, within a variety of contexts and different relationships that I hold.
Right.
And I've been like, oh wow, this is like amazing, And I have been overwhelmed with this sense of like feeling cared for, protected even in some senses. And like, I just am like, whoa, that's crazy. And then, the cosmic things, there has been, the universe that just like keeps telling me this thing and I see it and it's just like, oh yeah, I guess that's, I don't know. I feel grateful to have that. And that reminder that there's emotional reciprocity and I don't know. It's cool. And just to be loved and to love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Aww.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's whatever.
Yeah, it's just, it's all right.
Yeah. But I mean, it is overwhelming sometimes because I do think, one of my hard lessons for this year, as we've, as is just like that reality that I can like really overextend and overgive. And as I'm trying to be more honest with myself and what I can give and practicing more discernment of who to give that to is a scary thing. So when you are validated by the universe that like, this is a safe person to do that with, that is I've been feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude in those moments.
Got that. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Quincy, what is something this week that you're going to try to not be down bad about?
That I refuse to be down bad
That you
about.
refuse to.
I did again. What the fuck? Dude, this button up is choking the both of us. It's choking me and I'm like choking you. Wears a button up one time. Reads one book. This is like so that moment. I'm just like, I'm not even thinking about doing it. I'm just doing it. That's so fucking annoying. Anyways.
This is like a spider suit of actualness.
Literally podcast on the spectrum today. And I'm like, what's happening? But great question. I was thinking about this. Mm-hmm. This week, I refuse to be down bad about anticipating.
Okay.
So one of the big things that hit me this week was just how anticipation can kill both movement forward and like how you bring in energy to a situation. Anxiety, anticipation, it can all be, future tripping / and so I've realized that I've had a long tendency of anticipating things that has delayed me from taking action. And also that anticipation has kept me in situations or keeps me in a state of thinking where I'm not showing up as myself and allowing things to naturally unfold. Or even recognizing how I feel in the present moment because I'm too worried anticipating what will happen next.
Oh.
So, yeah. So I think for me this week is about not anticipating and not being that bad. Not even in the positives of like, this is how it's going to be. I can't wait for X, Y, and Z thing.
Right.
There's no reason for me to even anticipate that.
Right.
Because it's taking me out of, yes, I could feel really great about this thing in like a year, but actually, how do I feel right now?
Right.
Because by ignoring the feeling right now, I'm not being honest. And I'm also then unintentionally trying to manipulate myself, the situation, the future to fit a concept that I actually don't know is true.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I'm not going to be down bad about anticipating, or I'm not going to anticipate.
I love that.
Thanks.
Okay. I love that a lot. Okay.
Chris, well, you're like shocked. Sometimes I say things and I feel like you're shocked, but yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'm just showing genuine, like, cause I don't want to be like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's genuinely like very like, I mean, you're someone who I always feel like you always say profound shit. But like me, the reaction I have is never from a place of surprise or shock. Okay. It's just always just like, I want to make sure that the statements that you say gets the reception that it deserves, if that makes sense.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
For myself, I think to be honest, I don't know. I think this week I'm going to try to not be down bad about, I'm going to try to not, I don't know how to word this, but I'm going to try to not be down bad about feeling like when trying to express gratefulness, feeling corny.
I love that.
I don't want to be down bad about corniness in this sense of like, because like this past weekend was one of my best friend's wedding. And like that was also a moment of feeling this overwhelming sense of gratefulness. Because I was just like, damn, I almost, if my depression had its way, I almost would have not experienced this beautiful wedding where I had the time of my life this weekend. And it was like a moment where I went up to both of them and I like cried talking to them about it. Cause like they took a really good care of me during that time. And then I also, my brother and sister-in-law were at the wedding. So I like cried to them cause they took care of me. So it was just like a huge, like there was lots of those moments of being in the moment, being like, damn, like I'm here.
You're loved.
And I'm loved and I get to celebrate love. And sure, some people might feel like in that moment of like, oh, I don't want to like cry or it's corny to feel blessed or thankful and all that. But for me, it's like, no, I'm glad I had that moment because I got to, through my crying, I got to express to people that I really care about, like how thankful I am.
Yeah, exactly.
And like how, yes, I got through my shit because of me, but I also got through it because of them. And like letting them know, like even like time has passed, but I still haven't forgotten like things that friends and family like you and my family and other friends as well, the support that y'all gave me to help me get through that shit. It doesn't matter how much time goes by. I'm never going to forget that. So I think continuing to allow myself to feel those feelings and express those feelings and not feeling like I have to play it cool or whatever is definitely what I want to continue to not feel down bad about.
I absolutely love that.
Thank you.
I feel like that is honestly a hugely important thing to do as we like fight the powers that be. You know, like tell people you're grateful, be grateful, experience it, and like don't be we can't be afraid of those human moments. Right. And like and corniness. Don't let the idea of being corny or cringe stop you from telling people what you feel. Right. Yeah.
Because we gotta, I know we've talked about this before. We gotta stop this culture of being anti-cringe.
Yeah.
Because when people are like, oh, it's cringe. That person really likes that thing. And it's just like, okay, well, that person's experiencing happiness and joy because they found a hobby or an interest or something that brings them happiness. And because you want to play it cool, you're like, why?
It's just fear.
Right.
People who are like that are fearful, and it's like, why are you gonna hate a try hard? How are you gonna get anywhere if you don't try hard?
Exactly.
It's like you want that with no. We're about to get into another podcast, but I hate that shit. I hate that shit. But anyways, Chris, where can people find you?
At Chris Mejia Comedy on all platforms. I haven't made the switch yet as I'm saying this recording, but I am going to make the switch. This is a reminder that I need to make the switch. So at Chris Mejia Comedy on all platforms. Also follow me on Substack as well at Chris Mejia Comedy. And when this comes out, I will be in Dallas to open for the homie Iffy at the Dallas Comedy Club. So if anyone listening, if you live in Dallas, come to the show. Quincy, if people like the things you say and the way you say it, how can they follow you?
Yeah, you can follow me on every platform at Quincy Yeoman. You can follow my Substack at No Small Talk on Substack. That's No Small Talk. Do that. Remember to like, share, subscribe, review. Smash that like button. Isn't that what they say on YouTube? Smash that subscribe button or whatever YouTubers used to say. Share this with your grandma, share this with your grandpa, share it with your sibs, share it with your enemies, your bosses, your lovers, your situationships, your humiliationships. Anybody really. Your exes, new, whatever. Just spread it around. Airdrop it to a plane of people on your travels. We'd love that. And until next time, stay curious.
Stay up.